Hello and welcome back here to Talk Tottenham here with your host Tom. Ah, guys, uh, giving you guys a match reaction from Tottenham's latest defeat in the Premiership, in the Premier League today. Ended up Liverpool 4, Spurs 2, and that's four defeats on the trot now, guys. Full disclosure, I was travelling um, this afternoon from London back to Edinburgh where I live, so I didn't actually get to watch the game, but I did listen to it on the radio. I listened to it on Five Live, and just like the rest of you Spurs fans, just absolutely. Even on the radio, just couldn't believe really what I was listening to. Couldn't believe I was listening to, but then also not really all that surprised either. I mean, going into the game, I wasn't confident at all about getting anything at Anfield. Another ground where we've got a horrendous record. I can't even remember the last win at Anfield. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was under Harry back in 2011 when I remember Modric and Van der Vaart scoring and a 2-0 win. So you're going like with Stamford Bridge and Chelsea. You're going back about 14 years for our last victory there. So many defeats, never seemed to play well there. And I've seen the goals. I've had chance to really kind of think about what I wanted to say in this video, and yeah, it's really, really, like I said in the last one, it's really, really worrying. Four defeats in a row now. That's 11 defeats for the season. Um, it's just the season, like I said in the last video, guys, it's just completely and utterly fallen apart, and no one is in form at the moment whatsoever, apart from possibly Christian Romero, who I thought played pretty well in the Arsenal game. But to be honest, no one can really come away from Anfield today with any credit. And there were some really, really bad performances again. From the likes of Emerson Royale. Look, I don't want to criticise two individuals too much. At the end of the day, they're playing for Tottenham Hotspur. I'll always support them, but I've said many times, guys, there are some players that, in my opinion, if I'm being frank, I just don't think that they're at the standard to be playing for a club like Tottenham. And I'm talking about players like Emerson Royale, Højbjerg. Um, look, as well as Richarlison did in the second half coming on, I still don't think he's the answer, but maybe people will think I'm being a little bit harsh there, but look, maybe it's wrong to focus on individuals after a performance like that because, to be quite honest, it's a collective problem at the moment, running right through the club from top to bottom. There's like I've heard many people say that at the moment it seems that the players haven't got any belief at all in what Ange is telling them to do. Um, and yeah, you kind of you really worry at the moment just kind of how kind of deeply set that kind of issue is at the club at the moment, and whether or not has Ange lost the dressing room. I don't think he's lost the dressing room. I think that's a little bit going a bit too far. But one thing's for sure at the moment is you can tell that the players have just lost all sense of confidence, and we can't seem to attack as a collective unit. I've heard others say as well, and I completely agree. There's literally one move that Spurs try and do over and over again that seems to lead to goals, and that's that ball that's played out wide. We usually play like a 1-2, and it's a cutback, usually from like Johnson and Werner, and looking to get the striker to sort of tap it in, and that's obviously how one of the goals came about today. That was Richarlison. He's to be fair, he's good at that, But my point is isn't it just ridiculous that uh, there doesn't seem to be any other passages of play or any other moves that lead to goals. It's just that one move over and over again. No wonder we're being found out. There's no variety to our play. And I've been saying this for months now, to be honest. I've said it in other videos that we're easy to play against, we're predictable, and teams have worked us out. And it feels a long time ago now since those first 10 games of the season. Um, so of course, there's big worries. I wasn't expecting anything today, and it's been an awful week. It's been an absolute awful week with three defeats in a row now. Um, but you, I still stand by what I say, viewers and listeners. I still stand by what I said in the last video, which is now's not the time to push the panic button or go crazy. We need to have some sort of sense of perspective here. Ange came in. This is his first season. There was always going to be a rebuild, and as I've said before, we really got, to be honest, myself included, really got carried away with that first 10 games of the season, and it really kind of misaligned really where we were as a club, and I think just as the season's gone on, I think we're gradually kind of finding out where our level is. And by the way, I will caveat that by saying I don't think this is our level either. We're not this bad. 4 defeats on the spin. The form since Christmas, by the way, is really bad. We would be 16th uh, in the league if you just took the form after Christmas into account. But what I'm saying is this isn't our limit. This isn't our place either. We're not this bad, and we weren't that good at the start of the season. We're somewhere in the middle, and to finish fifth, and hopefully, we can still do that. I think still represents a lot of progress this season, but it doesn't feel like that at the moment, just because it's just been a dreadful. Well, I mean, it's been going on for a long time. The form has been really bad. Um, but when I say that this isn't the time to push the panic button, it really isn't. We need to finally believe in a manager and back him and give Ange what he wants in the summer. Go and get the players that he needs. Hopefully, the board, the chairman will show some belief in Ange and invest in the club, because there's some serious investment that's needed in this team. We need a striker. We need a number six. We probably need another creative midfielder. We need a left winger. I mean, there's really arguably now there's like 5 or 6 positions that we need. I think I won't go on too long tonight, guys, because well, I could go on a lot longer, to be honest, but I won't. Is what's concerning the most really is just how everyone's form in the first team has just fallen off a cliff, and it's all happened at the same time, which is particularly worrying. Usually, when something like that happens, it usually means that there's deeper issues. There's real worries at the club. I'm putting it down to the fact that just the players are on their knees at the moment and have lost all confidence and belief, which happens. When you can't buy a win, when you can't buy a goal, that the easy things in football become particularly hard and very hard, and that's where we're at the moment. We can't seem to do anything right. And even players that were in form earlier on in the season, I'm talking about Pedro Porro, Pat Matasar, um, even Van der Ven to a point. These players and Vicario as well. Nobody's playing well at the moment. No one's in form. Everyone's form is we're talking sort of threes, fours out of 10 a match, if I'm being generous. And whereas I mean, that's been going on for a long time. I mean, I'm sick to death of talking about the first 10 games of the season, but that really does feel like a long time ago, doesn't it, now, guys? Those first 10 games of the season. Um, so, like I said in the last video, it really is back to basics now. It's back to the drawing board. We really need to try and consolidate fifth place this season. Forget about this season. I heard tonight that the season ends in 2 weeks. So we've got obviously our next game against Burnley, I think next Saturday. Then we quickly play City on the Tuesday. Like most Spurs fans, really hoping City win that game. I'm not having Arsenal win this league. It's not happening, not on my watch. And I can't see Spurs competing with City anywhere at the moment. So we'll lose that game. And let's just hope that we can pick up 6 points from Burnley and Sheffield United, and that will be enough. I would have thought to get fifth, and then just let's just forget about it because it's just turned into it's turned into a little bit of a nightmare. What started off with so much promise, it's just been such a topsy turvy back to front season, and we just need to forget about it. Forget about football for 3 months, and obviously, well, the World Cup will be on. So, or is it the Euros? I think it might be the Euros. Um, anyway, and we can just forget about it, and Ange can go again, and we'll judge Ange Postecoglou at the end of next season. But will Levy give him that time, or will he push the panic button around Christmas? Don't know. Ange has got to start really well next season. That's for sure. He's got to start really well, and we've got to turn around this really, really miserable form at the moment. But we'll leave it there, guys. It's obviously another low point, and I mean, over the course of this season, there's been some really, really bad defeats now. Um, Looking at it, 11 defeats. 11 defeats. Only a few weeks ago it was 6 or 7. Now it's up to 11. Way too many. Way too many. And shipping like goals galore. I mean, that's like what, 14 goals conceded in the last 4 games. You can't build any success whatsoever if you've got a leaky defence and giving goals away. And up the other end as well, we just don't look, we're just so toothless. We're so toothless, so lethargic, so slow. So big, big questions. And just got to find a way of doing it. But I really feel at the moment everyone at the club just needs to rest and recover from what's been a really, really painful last few weeks. And there isn't really much else to be said, really, guys. So I'll finish it there. Let's forget about this week, and obviously Burnley on Saturday. We've got to pick up the 3 points in that, but I mean, I don't know what Burnley's position is at the moment, but they're going to need those points. I don't think they're officially relegated yet. I think they'd probably need to win that game to have any chance of staying up. So that isn't going to be easy either, is it? Even playing Burnley at home, but we'd have to go into that one as favourites, of course. I would have thought so. And let's just focus on that game now. But we'll forget about football for this week anyway until the next game. And wishing everyone here a good week. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.